Hey, what is going on, guys? And thank you for coming back to another Roblox scripting tutorial. So, in this video, I'm going to be continuing the beginner series on how to script. So, in this video, I'm going to be focusing on functions and what you can do with them. So now, functions are very useful in Roblox. In Roblox scripting, very useful. You're basically, so you're right, let me show you. So, I'm just gonna insert a script into the workspace, and I'm gonna type function. So function. So, and then you want to define what you want the name to be. So it can be anything. I'm just gonna say, add. I'm gonna drop an end on, 2 lines underneath it. You want to drop an end right here, or else there'll be an error. You have to have this end. Okay, so we got function add, parentheses, end. So anything inside of this is gonna run when the function is called. So a function, you're just writing some code that you can use later in the script, and you can call it as many times as you want. Like calling it, I mean doing that. You can do it as many times as you want, or ever you want. That's what the cool part is about functions. You can put in given arguments. Arguments are things that go inside of the parentheses right here. It can be anything, like number 1, number 2. So, I just pass in 2 arguments, number 1 and number 2. And if I call it, nothing's going to happen yet, because I didn't write anything, of course. But if, just say I wanted to add these 2, you can just say, num1, here, yeah, well, let's say local add numbers equals num2 plus num1. So we're just, and then you can say print add numbers. So this is supposed to, I made a variable, add numbers, number 2 and plus number 1. So this will add the 2 numbers right here. But it's not gonna work for a couple reasons. Number 1 is that I did not call it. So let me show you. I'm gonna go to the output, where this will show you everything that's going on in your game. And so this is supposed to output add numbers, which is this variable that holds number 2 and number 1. And it's gonna add those. But we'll see if it works. I'm gonna click run. And it's not, see, it didn't print out. There's a reason to that. You have to call the function. You gotta say the name again. It can be any name, but yeah, you gotta say the name of it, and that's how you call it. Add, which is the name of function right here, and then you gotta do 2 parentheses. But in this function, I have 2 parameters. Number 1 and number 2, and I gotta pass in some numbers that I wanted to add. So let me do 10, and let me say 15. So it's gonna add 10 and 15 together, and what's that gonna equal? It's gonna equal 25. Let's look. Here we go, 25 right there. So that's just an example of how functions work. You have to call them for it to actually work. Yeah, you can call them as many times as you want in the script. There's no limit to how many times you can call a function in your script. Very useful. Because if I just say I want to add 10 and 15, I can call it again. And I can put in 2 other sets of numbers now. Like 30 and 20. Let's see. That should equal 50. Let's run it. And there it is. 50. It's directly under the line where we first called it, because in scripts, computers are running really fast, and it's trying to get through each of these lines as quick as it can, and it reads every line. So this is first, which is 25. This is 50. So it reads this first because it's going straight down, reading it, and this is second. I think that was a good example, so you'll understand how the parameters work. You can just pass in any values. Like, it doesn't have to be adding or anything like that. It doesn't have to be. Let me just see. So, you can also use functions for a lot of other stuff too. Like, if I wanted to say change color, I can just leave an argument saying color, and then I'll define it later what I want. And by the way, you don't have to have any arguments for when you're doing this, because because you can just say what you want. Like, what if, like, let me just show you. If I have no color value, I can just say game.workspace.brickplate.brickcolor equals brickcolor dot new. And I can just say red, really red. So it's not going to work yet because I have not called it. This line is supposed to change the color of the base plate right here. This big green grass part right here. So, and the brick color is a property of base plate in the workspace because it is a part. So brick color, yep. Yeah. So I gotta call it. When we run the game, and I'll show you, it does not work. It's not going to change the color because I did not call it. You have to remember to call it. So you just say change color, boom, play the game, or run the game, and boom, turns red. That's all there is to it. You don't have to have arguments, but the arguments are very useful. Like, if I wanted to say color, so that's just it's arbitrary. It can be anything. And here, I'm just going to remove the string that says really red. I'm going to remove that. I'm just going to say color, which is going to be this. And it's the same thing as we've done before, except we're adding an argument, and we're putting it in the brick color, that new value. Or, which is, yeah. So, we're just going to say, I'm going to double speech marks, quotation marks, and just say whatever color you want, like bright blue. So it's just gonna, and when we run the game first, it turns bright blue. Because all we're doing, it's basically the same thing, except we're passing in a value. Right here. This bright blue is the color value. That's what we want it to turn color to. So, and then all we're doing is putting, it's the same thing as we did before. We put it in quotations because that's how it's gonna have to be when it goes into here. So this color equals this, that goes into here, the brick color, the new value. And you know, it's really cool. We can call, as I said before, we can call this function as many times as we want. And this is real cool. When we add a wait to, which is just gonna wait to for the next part of code to happen, I can just call it again and say bright red. Let's run. 2 seconds later, it turns red. How's that? And you can do that as many times as you want. Let me just copy that. So yeah, every time it's gonna call this bright blue, then it's gonna wait 2 seconds, then it's gonna change the brick color or the base plate color to red. And what if I wanted to turn green? Like lime green? That's the color, I think. I'm going to wait another 2 seconds, and I want it to turn into, let's see what colors there are. I'm going to go to properties of the base plate. I'm going to look at the colors palette. Let's see. I'm going to do Magenta. Right here. Magenta, yeah. Just you gotta make sure, if you don't spell it right, it's not going to work, because that's not, it might not be spelled right. It's good to check. Yep, I spelled it right. That's important, because if you don't say it right, type it. It has to be spelled exactly as it is here, or else it will not work. So, I'm going to add another color. I'm going to add pink. Okay? And yeah, let's see what happens. I'm going to decrease the weights on these. Okay, just so it waits 1 second. We don't have to wait as long. So, first it turns bright blue. 2 seconds later, it'll be red. 1 second later, green. 1 second later, purple. 1 second later, pink. Isn't that cool? So, that's just a good example of how you can use functions to your advantage. Calling them over and over again, like I did here. And you can change the value. So, you can change the value. So, first it's bright blue. 2 seconds later, we're changing the color to a new color, which is our bright red. And then lime green, magenta, which is purple, and pink. That's pretty much how it goes, guys. That's a way you can use functions and arguments to your advantage. Argument is the color value in here. So, I might give you another example. And also, guys, you can look on the wiki as well. Like, there's a lot of information there as well about functions. It's great. It's a great website on Roblox that will help you learn. And yeah. But yeah, functions you can call over and over again, like I just shown you. So, how about I do one more thing? I insert a part. I insert a script into this part. Hold on, I'm just gonna remove the other script, so I don't want that to run. All right, so I made a part. What if I want it to touch? What if a player touches this part? What do I want it to do? I'll have it change color, or yeah, I'll do color. So if a player steps on this, first we can say we could say script.parent.touched connect function. We can do that. That'll work fine. Because we're just tying this event to a function. We're connecting it to a function. You could do that and write the rest of the code. Like, so when I touch on this, this is basically the same thing as just calling the function on touched. This is, again, this name is arbitrary. It can be anything you want. And dropping a line, and then we would just say script.parent.touched connect, and then you gotta say the name of the function you want to add. So it's just we're just calling the function, but it's in this touched event. So it's the same thing. But now it's not gonna work yet because we have not written any code. So I'm just gonna leave an argument saying hit. So when the player hits the part, if hit.parent, we're gonna check for the character. So hit.parent is the character. It's the player that hit the part. Find first child. So we're going into the character model in the workspace, and we're gonna find humanoid. So now we know it's a player. We're checking if it's a player, and if they have a humanoid. Then now we can say script.parent.brickcolor equals. I'll just say brickcolor.red. Well, that's also a function, but I mean it's a property of this brick color keyword brick color. There's a drop down list of all these things you can do. There's all these colors, and there's random. I'll do random. So now it'll just be a random brick color. So this should work. I'm gonna play the game. Alright, my guy's loaded into the game. I'm gonna I'm gonna touch this part, and it should be a random color. Look at that. So every time I'm touching it, which is right now, it just keeps changing colors. Heh. Kinda cool. Boom. You got the point. So yeah, every time I touch it, it changes color. And as I said before, it's the same thing if you just said function right here, and did hit, and did that. It's the same thing as what we did up here. We're just actually tying it to a function. But we wrote our own function up here that says, and I'm going to remove this bit right here. And I'm going to put the on touch back. We're calling it. So yeah, same thing as we did up here. And for here, you don't have to put an extra set of parentheses because maybe unless you put an argument, but we don't have any, so we're not going to do that. So yeah, this is the same thing as the other example I showed you. we're just making a function and we're calling it right here. And that will run when a player touches the part. Because script.parent is the object above the script, which is part. And when we touch the part, it'll fire the function that we called. So yeah, so it just changes the part's brick color to random every time we touch it. Pretty much that simple, guys. Let me know if you don't understand anything or do not understand something. I'll try to get back to you and help you out with whatever you need. And also check out the wiki. Type in Roblox wiki, and there's gonna be a bunch of things that help you out too. And if you want to learn more on functions, I highly advise you go check out the wiki. It's very useful. It certainly helped me. So yes, I appreciate you guys watching. Hope I helped you out, and I hope I helped you understand how functions work in Roblox. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Hit the like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.